he and Richard Matt were able to find that first secluded cabin where investigators discovered the men's DNA. Out front now, Bill Farrington, he actually hiked to the cabin where the convicted killers stayed. Now, Bill, you saw this cabin, and that was a long hike, a 40-minute hike, I know, from the nearest even dirt road. When you got there, what made you realize people had been there recently?
I could see some shoe tracks, some ATV tracks, and that was probably what led me to go walk that far up the path, is that other people had then been there before me.
So you saw the tracks. Now,
recently.
We're looking at your photos, you know, these pictures. I mean, it's basically a shanty. Cabin might imply to some people something more substantial than what we're looking at. When you went inside, what were the kinds of things you saw? What would they have been able to get from this cabin in terms of supplies?
Well, I didn't go inside, but what I saw, it looked like a pretty good place to spend some time if you were on the run. There was nice cooking gear, there was a barbecue, there was beds. It looked pretty well equipped for a place that far out in the woods. It wasn't like just some shack that
right. Now,
people
Bill,
slept
the
in
other thing we're
occasionally.
hearing, David Sweat is now saying their plan was to go to Mexico if Joyce Mitchell showed up. She didn't, so then they went hiking in the woods. The cabin that you found is a 40-minute hike from the nearest dirt road. I mean, it would seem you don't just stumble upon something like this if you're them. Do you think they could have found it if they didn't already know about where it was from somebody?
I guess they could have stumbled upon it, but I really wouldn't be surprised if they had some information about where to go, because it was so far from the track that they must have used to get away from the prison. That was the power lines, and there was no direct line from the power lines to the cabin. So maybe they overheard something while they were in prison.